everyone. My name is Akmari Glimph. Thank you for taking the time to join us for this webinar on cancer insurance and ways to protect yourself and family and community from the financial stresses of being diagnosed or basically blindsided by cancer. So, further ado. So this particular webinar, like I said, is based on how to protect your family from cancer in the community. I typically like to get started right on time, so we'll give everyone a few minutes to let everyone else come on board, and then we'll go ahead and get started. So it looks like we'll have a handful of people on this webinar today, so this should be fairly intimate and good. While we wait, please do me a favor, guys. Please get rid of any distractions around you. If the TV's on, go ahead and turn that off, or the radio, go ahead and turn that off. Cell phone on vibrate if you can. I know some of y'all might have to keep your phones on for emergency purposes, but you've taken the time from your busy schedule to learn more about cancer protection, and so I want to make sure that you have every opportunity to do so. You may miss vital information in the span of only a few minutes, so please help me help you. And then also, guys, this is important. If at all possible, if other family members are around, etc., please make sure that as much of your family is present as possible, because I'd want to make sure to get everyone's input, and then also just to make sure everyone understands the risk that cancer is presenting to today's population. So cancer rates are going sky high right now. Just about every time you turn on the news, cancer is affecting somebody. A product in a well-known product is causing cancer, etc. So again, just please make sure to be present, participate. Okay. So with there only being a handful of people on board, guys, you'll have plenty of opportunities to participate. Type a comment, ask a question. If at all possible, I'll share it on the webinar, and if we don't get to it live, we'll respond to it privately to you via email. The more you interact, the better we can make this webinar. Okay, so if I ask a question or make a comment and you have something to say, go ahead and say it. It's going to be open. Everyone will be able to see it. Try not to bum anyone out. If you have one of those really, really sad stories, we want to know some basics if you don't mind sharing, but again, most of the folks here are coming here specifically to learn how to protect themselves, as opposed to sharing really, really depressing stories about people going bankrupt or losing their houses or their lives even. So all right, I definitely appreciate it. Thank you, guys. So we know that basically anytime you guys leave here, you're going to spread the word about this webinar. Okay, you can end up saving someone's life by giving them access to these webinars, because, so for instance, even if at the end of this you say, hey, you know what, cancer cancer insurance is really, really good, I just don't think I need it, I'm never going to get cancer, or cancer doesn't run in my family, or I live in the middle of the woods and I don't have to worry about pollution or anything else causing cancer in me personally, so I'm not going to get it. Even if you don't think you'll need it, or you don't think you'll ever get cancer, or the chances of you getting cancer are slim to none, please share it with as many people as you can. Okay, like I said, you could end up saving someone's life or their financial future and their retirement just by sharing this webinar. Also, if you participate, if you respond to some of my questions and comments, etc., and stay to the end, we have a gift for you. At the end of every webinar, we actually take stock of who participated, who posted their stories, who responded to questions, etc. So we partnered with a travel agent who is basically as committed as I am to making sure that everyone is as protected as possible from the effects of cancer. Okay, he's agreed to give away vacation certificates. That's going to be these here. I know he has a bunch of 3-day, 2-night vacation certificates to places like Vegas and some abroad and things like that. So pretty exciting. And then also we're going to have a contest for like gift cards to Amazon, Starbucks, and Target and Visa gift cards. And we're going to have a lot of different stuff to give away just for showing up. because again, we want to try to have as many people as possible, and we know more people will show up, especially if there's things to be had. So again, guys, stick around, learn something. We're not gonna try to like pound you over the head to buy anything. That's just not our style. This is primarily going to be informational, raise awareness, but we will cover some policies towards the end just to make sure that you guys have that option. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I promise that you guys are going to leave this webinar with more information that you came in with, especially when it comes to how you can protect your family from the financial effects of cancer. Okay, I'm not here to sell you guys on anything. I'm not going to try to persuade you to spend money on anything you don't feel you need. I'm not going to hold you guys hostage. I chose webinars to deliver this information because it's informal, unobtrusive, and easy for you guys to walk away. You guys know, if you've ever had one of those life insurance guys come to your door, they will camp out in your living room. Okay, same thing with other guys that sell insurance door to door or business to business, and we all know who I'm talking about with their famous duck. I'm not saying any names. I won't disparage any other companies out there. I just want to let you guys know that's not what the case is here. Okay, I'd like. Now, with that being said, it is easy to walk away. You guys can cancel. We do track who stays and who leaves and who participates and who doesn't. So, again, we want you guys to have access to these vacations as well as this gift card contest. And if you stay to the end and at least participate, you are eligible, and that's all it takes. Okay. Now, with that being said, I know that some of you guys are just gonna say, like I said, yo, I'm never going to get cancer, and that's fine, and you will walk away, or you will want to walk away. I would not advise walking away. I'd stay to the end, learn something, and make an educated decision. Okay. I will, however, ask for one favor. If you guys don't think these resources will help you, then walk away. Don't stick around in the chat boxes making a lot of unnecessary comments. Maybe if you guys are saying, hey, I don't believe in cancer, I don't believe in what the science is showing us, and I don't believe that cancer is as prevalent as everyone thinks it is, and we just don't need that. There's too much information and facts out there. Every time I run these webinars, there's always someone who comes on, and I'm not sure if they're just trolling or what, but they'll say crazy things like, oh yeah, cancer's not even real, it's a conspiracy, and we don't need that. So if you think you're going to do that, if you're going to troll us, just please leave. We'll have moderators go through the chats and try to keep that down to a minimum. But again, because this is open, sometimes trolls do come on board. But I will say this, guys. If you see a policy at the end that you would like, or you'd like more information on to help protect your family, apply for it. Fill out the basic information on the application and send that in, and then we'll contact you. Okay. If you can't afford one, still fill it out, reach out to us, and we'll see what we can do to help. One of the beautiful things about this is not only it's super easy. Okay, we're not going to take blood and all this other stuff. It's exceptionally affordable. Okay, there's price ranges to fit basically every person and every socioeconomic status on the planet. Okay, from the folks that don't really have a job to the folks that work white collar and in the top 1%. So don't worry about the money. Like I said, learn something. We're about to go over some facts here from the American Cancer Society and some other places. And at the end, just let me know. Okay. Oh, also, guys, I run these webinars from a home office. My son's out sick today, so if you hear him in the background crying, don't worry. You're not hearing anything or imagining things. He's just home with an ear infection. So, okay. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this, guys. Also, just here's something real quick that I'd love for you guys to share some quick stories. Nearly every person I've ever met has been affected by cancer. Okay, I think I've probably met maybe one person who said, "Oh yeah, I don't know anyone who's had cancer." But really, who's the closest person to you who's had cancer? Okay, family, coworkers, friends. Really think about it and go ahead and type that response for me. Okay. And then also, what kind of cancer was it? Okay. How long did they battle? Did they survive? Basically, because that person was blindsided by their cancer diagnosis, Did someone end up having to limit how much they could work to either help or because they themselves were affected? And then also, could they be treated locally or did they need to go somewhere else for better treatment? Okay, I see a lot of responses coming in, so I see that you guys are typing really quickly. But really, guys, just think about it. Okay, typically when it comes to insurance, these kinds of things are done face to face so that we could really talk this through. But again, we have that chat box. I want you guys to definitely, excuse me, take advantage of it. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Well, I appreciate all your sharing. And guys, as you share and everyone else shares, just look at some of the responses. Take a look and see what people are saying. Okay, because again, you'll see it's not only you. You're not the only one that knows someone who's had cancer. You're not the only one that knew someone that didn't survive or that had to travel to get care because they didn't have one of the designated cancer specialty hospitals close by. Okay, um, perfect. Thank you guys. I appreciate all this information. Okay, so we got a lot of parents, a lot of siblings, a lot of friends. Okay, so basically I'm seeing we have a very wide range of basically everything in terms of who's been affected, uh, types of cancers, how long they battled, and okay, thanks guys. All right. So without further ado, let's get into some stats. Okay, so the American Cancer Society, everyone knows who they are. The one of the biggest cancer nonprofits in the United States says that cancer will occur in 3 out of 4 families. Okay, so that's 75% of families on this planet are going to have cancer in it. All right, so cancer plays no favorites. Men 1 and 2, women 1 and 3, and of course children. All right, so men, our chances of getting cancer are a little bit higher. All right, prostate, lung, colorectal, bladder, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Women, breast, lung, colorectal, uterine, and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And then children. In my opinion, this is probably one of the craziest things to me, but it's the leading cause of natural death in children, and it's only second to accidents. If you get that, so I've heard crazy stories about children finding out that they have leukemia. The parents would say, "Hey, they were a normal kid, rambunctious, running around, happy-go-lucky," and then they went to sleep, and then they couldn't wake them up the next day. Okay, and they had to take them to the hospital to find out that they had leukemia, or um, oh, they were playing soccer, kicked the ball and broke their leg, took them to the hospital, found out they had leukemia. Okay, people are blindsided all the time, and it's not just men, not just women, but it's everyone. Okay, so this year, guys, there'll be over 1.6 million new cancer cases in the United States. Okay, that's a staggering number. 1.6 million. Okay. So some cancers, everyone knows, are linked via genetics, hereditary, breasts, prostate, ovarian. But most people don't know this. 3 out of 4 cancers are coming from the environment. Okay, those are things that you can't control. So basically, the air you breathe, the food you eat, the water you drink, where you work, and then even some things inside the home have been known to cause cancer. Okay, um, what do you guys think is causing all the cancer uh, from the environment? Right. Okay. I'm seeing a lot of chemicals. I'm seeing a lot of businesses. I'm seeing a lot of pollution. I'm seeing a lot of in the effort of trying to make profit. Okay. Okay. So yeah, it seems as though you guys all have an opinion on it, and it looks like everyone's of the same opinion. That really it has to do with the chemicals in the water and the food and the air, asbestos and other types of chemicals in the home that are affecting people and increasing their risks of cancer. Absolutely, you guys are spot on. So here's the good news. Okay, cancer is on the rise, but the good news is that 6 out of 10 people that have cancer are going to survive. Okay, there's always a but though, right? The bad news all right, is that cancer is very, very, very expensive. Okay, this year alone, cancer, or I guess just really yearly, cancer in the United States, the cost to treat it is $226 billion. Okay, $226 billion. We're not talking about 226 million or thousand. B with a billion. Okay, that number, that 226 billion, that's the cost that survivors and fighters have to pay in order to fight cancer. Okay, so 103 billion of that are the direct costs. These are the things that your Medicare and your health insurance are paying. Okay, so that's like to the doctor, the hospital, and the medical charges. That's 103 billion. Okay, the other 123 billion dollars are the indirect costs. So this is what your health insurance will not, does not, and more than likely will never cover. Okay, so think about it, guys. What are some examples of indirect costs that you guys are aware of? Okay, think about it. And then also for the direct costs, what types of insurance do you guys have? Do you know what your copays are? Do you know what the deductibles are? Do you know how much? Are there limits on your insurance in terms of how much they'll cover during the course of a year? Those are definitely good things to know. Okay. And in terms of these indirect costs, as you guys think about them, think about your situation, right? So for instance, um, I'm married. I have a young son, and so for me, when I think through my situation, well, I have a house. I have a couple of cars that we have. So a mortgage on a house. I have some investment property that also has mortgages. I have some loans on the cars. I have utilities. I have childcare expenses. Don't forget about food to eat, and basically every bill, basically everything you pay for is an indirect cost. And I'll explain how that becomes an indirect cost. Okay, so indirect costs, basically, if you or someone that you knew was sick, okay, most of the time, someone would take time off from work to either help that person, or if they themselves got sick, they wouldn't be able to go to work. Okay, so they'd lose money. Living expenses, just because you get sick from either cancer or heart attack, stroke, or some sort of serious accident, those living expenses, they don't go away. Your landlord or your mortgage holding company or the utility company, they don't say, oh, you know what, you're not working right now, so let me go ahead and put your bills on hold. Yeah, they don't do that. So housing costs still there. Auto costs still there. Utilities, more times than not, actually increase because you're spending less time at work and more time at home. So things like the electricity bill, the water bill are going to go up. Okay, food, right? Think about it. You found out, or someone found out that, or put it this way, someone was blindsided by cancer. All right. So as a result, the food that they eat, they may have to eat a special diet, but either way it goes, it's gonna have to be healthier food than what I'm sure we're all accustomed to, right? Fast food out the window, or even just if you don't do fast food, pre-processed and packaged foods, right? If you Google it, there was just a study done that says that a lot of the wrappers that are used in fast food and in packaging food actually has chemicals in it. It's like a water repellent, but it actually causes cancer. Who knew, right? A wrapper. Yeah, your food's wrapped in that. Okay, my food's wrapped in it. Insurance limitations. Okay, think about it. How much are your copays? Deductibles. My deductible I think is like $4,000, but I've seen a lot of people to where their deductibles are a lot higher. We're talking 8, 10. I think the highest I've seen so far was like $12,000. Okay, that basically means you have to pay all that before insurance will even decide to try to pitch in, which is crazy. Okay, medications. All right, if you've seen someone go through cancer, you understand. Hey, even with insurance, those copays on medications are outrageous. We're talking you can spend thousands of dollars a month on medications. Okay, Out-of-pocket expenses, if you lived in a smaller town and you didn't live next to one of the designated cancer specialty hospitals, you'd have to travel. I mean, right? Everyone wants the best care. Everyone wants the best chance to survive. And to do that, sometimes you have to travel. In a lot of cases, it's out of town, over 80 plus miles to do that. But while you're out, you still got to pay for food. You got to pay for a place to stay. And God forbid, it's a parent that's sick or a child that's sick that has multiple siblings, because then you have to worry about childcare too, right? I mean, if you're a parent who's sick, you're not going to want to have your kids around the hospital all the time, right? Or if one of your children is sick, you're not going to want that other healthy child or non-affected child to be in the hospital all that often, okay? So paint a picture, guys. Think about it, all right? If you can't go to work, or if you're retired and you have a stabilized income, okay? So let's just say your income stays the same or goes down, one of the two, okay? Either way it goes, if you were to get sick, from cancer, heart attack, stroke, or any kind of serious accident to where you couldn't go to work, okay? Your income would either stay the same or go down, but in every instance, your expenses are gonna go up, okay? Google it. What's one of the leading causes of bankruptcy in the United States? Okay, Google it and type that in the chat the chat box. Okay, we're running 20 minutes. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, it's health expenses. Okay, one of the most expensive health expenses is what? Going through cancer, or stroke, or heart attack. Okay, so guys, when do you think most people find out about these indirect costs? Right, exactly. I'm reading through these chat messages, when it's too late, when they're going through it, when they start getting bills, or when their savings start disappearing. Yep, you guys are exactly right. Okay, and which of these? And oh, here's one that's specifically to everyone. But which of these indirect costs would affect your family the most? Okay, most people, they never think about this, and they get completely blindsided. So I'm glad that we're having this conversation. But which of these indirect costs would affect your family the most? Okay, all of them. Okay, fair enough. Hey, if I didn't have cancer insurance, that's something that I'd definitely be concerned about. Time off from work, child care, because you have 4 kids. Okay, yeah, child care for sure. If you have a couple of kids, out of pocket expenses. Period. Yes, absolutely. Deductibles. Wow, you have a really high deductible. Okay, medication costs. So basically, guys, I mean, read through the chat. You'll see people are saying basically everything on this list. And again, you know, you may have the one that affects you the most, but at the end of the day, all of them will end up affecting everyone. Okay, no one escapes this unscathed unless they're prepared. Okay, so there are several ways that people try to meet the indirect costs of cancer. When you think about it, they'll go through their savings, their checking, their investment funds, their college funds, retirement funds. What? Again, guys, I not only used to do these webinars, but I used to always go door to door and talk to families and try to get them to see these policies. But one of the families that I visited, I was a bit too late. Okay, the mom had gone through a fight with breast cancer. It was a fairly advanced. She had to get a double mastectomy, but during that process, she actually had to cash in her son's college fund, who was a junior in high school. Okay, she said one of the worst feelings she'd ever gotten was feeling that she had stolen her son's future to try to preserve her present. Okay, and again, I could tell you guys stories about all kind of stuff like that. I mean, could you imagine, for instance, um, working, you and your partner, or you by yourself, or whatever the case may be, but you've worked hard your entire life, to develop investments or savings accounts, or even a retirement fund, and then you were blindsided by cancer. Okay, Imagine no one ever had talked to you guys about the indirect costs, so you didn't know how expensive it was going to be, and you ended up going through all your accounts. Okay, devastating, absolutely devastating. I hear that all the time, and that's when people end up working into their 60s, 70s, 80s because they had enough saved up to retire on time, and then something happened. They had a stroke, they had cancer, they had a heart attack, blew through their savings, had to cash in their retirements early at a penalty nonetheless, right? So they didn't even get all their money back. Right, okay. And then, of course, they're selling assets, the homes, property, cars, personal items, etc. All right. So the best choice is supplemental coverage. And this is where I'm going to start to present to you guys one of the plans from Family Heritage. Okay. Um, Now, I don't care who you go with, but in my opinion, everyone needs to get supplemental coverage for cancer, heart attack, stroke, etc. Okay, there's too many environmental factors that are out of our control that are causing these things. Okay, I've done my research. I've looked at so many policies and plans. I mean, if you guys Google me, you'll see this isn't my primary business. My primary business, I do online marketing. I do real estate development. I have several companies. I even have a healthcare company. Okay, but I do this because I feel people need to know about this. And so when I did my research to find out who I wanted to work with or what kind of policy I personally wanted, I found Family Heritage. So Family Heritage, it protects your assets, your family, and your future. Okay. So what they did was they developed a program. Okay. It's called Cancer Care Plus that pays benefits directly to you. So your health insurance, regardless of the carrier, whether it's Medicare or any of the big guys, Aetna, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Cigna, any insurance, they're going to pay your doctor and the hospital to keep them in business, and so they can keep their nice fancy cars and nice clothes and big fat mansions. What we do is we actually pay the money directly to you to keep your business and your family in business, and make sure that your lifestyle doesn't change as dramatically, for when you have cancer. Okay, so that you can maintain that sense of consistency in your life. All right, it pays money in addition to any other insurance you own, and it provides coverage to you and your entire family. Okay, so typically I like to read some testimonials, guys, but because there's so many of you, I'm just going to highlight some facts and leave it up so you guys can read it, and then I'll go to the next page. This first one is for folks that have Medicare. The second one is for the folks that have private insurance. Okay, look at the amounts of benefits received. Okay, in the case of this Medicare patient, and also in the case of this private patient. Now, if you guys want, if at the end of this you like the policy, you want to sign up, or you want some more testimonials, I can get you guys tons and tons and tons of handwritten testimonials from clients, okay, who purchased these policies and how much they were paid out, etc. Okay, but go ahead and read that and let me know. Or I guess not let me know. I'll give you a couple minutes here. Okay, perfect. Let's continue. So you guys probably already know some of our policyholders. I mean, so we don't spend the money that our company brings in on advertising and marketing. You'll never hear about our company on the TV, on the radio. We don't have any fancy mascots. That's not how we operate. Okay, we work from word of mouth, and then also door to door. We show up where people are to make sure we can actually talk to them in person. So many people actually sign up for it with us though, because our policies are simple to understand, they're affordable, and basically at the end of the day, it's an easy decision. Okay, if you look up Family Heritage, which is a Torchmark company, which is one of our largest shareholders is Warren Buffett. Okay, if you check out our ratings and things like that, you'll see we're one of the most reputable insurance companies out there. All right, and I say we because now I joined them, and I specifically joined them because of this. They were so great. They had great reviews, testimonials, and the product is terrific. So, but basically, guys, so I'm gonna go through this. If you like it, sign up. If you don't. But just stick to the end, and then that way we can make you eligible for the contest that we were talking about for the trip and the gift cards. We're gonna make it easy as pie to win. So we just want to make sure that as many people see this as possible. You don't have to buy anything if you don't think it'll work for you. Okay. So first occurrence benefits. Basically, let's say you're going through life, you're blindsided by cancer, and again, you'll see that we have multiple plans. I think we have about four for the cancer. I'm only going to talk about the elite because this is the best bang for the buck. But basically, let's say you're going through life, you're blindsided by cancer. We'll give you $6,000 for your first diagnosis of internal cancer. Okay. Now, some folks would want to save that to the saving accounts. For me, for instance, if I ever had to use my policy, I'd probably use that money to either pad my savings account like most, or do something fun with my kids, because we're about to go through something trying. So, but do you guys see how that benefit would be helpful upon the initial diagnosis? Okay, why? I know a lot of you are saying, yeah, absolutely, but why? Help out with initial bills? Right, exactly. Help ease the shock. Okay, perfect. Yeah, me too. Me too. Absolutely, guys. But so we also have a one-time payment for the skin cancer, which is $1,200. Okay, the following benefits are going to be for all types of cancer. Inpatient benefits, no lifetime limits. We'll pay $800 per day for hospitalization. Okay, so for instance, if you're in the hospital for 10 days, it'd be $8,000. 100 days, it'd be $80,000. Okay, ambulance, each trip $1,200. And then this policy has no cap on the total amount of benefits you can receive. So when you guys think about that, there's no lifetime limits and there's no cap on the benefits. That means you could be in the hospital as long as you need to be. You can take as many ambulance rides as you need to go to and from the hospital. Okay? Why would something like that be important when you're dealing with cancer? Exactly. Exactly. Perfect. Okay. So inpatient or outpatient benefits. Okay. So there's no lifetime limits. We pay if you need to undergo surgery and anesthesia up to $24,000. No lifetime limits, and that's per operation, by the way. For second surgical opinion. Okay, face it, guys. I mean, nobody wants to be operated on unless they absolutely have to. All right. If you got one doctor that's saying it's cancerous, you might want to check just to make sure before you get operated on that it is in fact cancerous. Just get a second opinion, and we'll actually pay $2,000 for that second opinion. Um, so you had to get a mastectomy, then for reconstructive breast surgery, we'll pay $1,200 up to, and then $2,400 total, which means for both breasts. Leukemia bone marrow transplant, $30,000. And in my opinion, this is the coolest benefit right here, guys. This is a donor benefit. Basically, even if you're not sick, but you end up donating stem cells, we're gonna pay you $6,000. Okay, isn't that cool? You guys are getting paid to help someone else. Okay. Now remember, your medical insurance may cover some of these bills. Okay, that we've covered thus far. But remember that this money, it comes directly to you guys to use however you see fit. All right. So it's not gonna go to the doctor. It ain't going to the hospital. It's going to you in your bank account to spend how you will. Okay. Inpatient or outpatient treatment benefits. So for each day of chemo and radiation therapy, there's going to be no lifetime limits. It's $480 a day. Radiation planning, up to $2,400. Self-administered chemotherapy, up to $48,000. Okay, and also everyone knows that the best way to treat cancer is to catch it early and then to be aggressive with it. Right? That way you can stop it in its tracks before it metastasizes and spreads. So most doctors, a lot of doctors want to go step by step. They want to do chemo, then radiation, or radiation, then chemo, whatever they prefer. But there are other treatments that you can do in conjunction with chemotherapy and radiation. Okay, your insurance may not want to pay for it, but we'll actually pay up to $4,000 so that you can get that special treatment for something like immunotherapy or stem cell transplant, hormone therapy, etc. So, guys, hopefully, we're down here now. Hopefully, cancer never strikes your family. Okay, but remember this: people don't own this policy to use it. They own it for the protection and hope they never need it. Okay, I run into clients all the time that says, hey, you know what, I bought this, because it's kind of like a fire extinguisher. If I'm in the kitchen, and my kitchen catches on fire, I really, really do hope I have a fire extinguisher, because if you don't and you need one, you're in a world of hurt. Okay, and again, I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm not trying to do anything like that. Just seriously, guys, think about it. You guys saw the costs associated with this. You've seen people get affected by it. People that you didn't think would ever get it. We're talking kids. We're talking people that work out and healthy and eat right. And then, of course, we've seen those people that you're like, okay, they were a chain smoker for 30 years, right? Or cancer runs in their family. It was a high probability they were going to get cancer too, okay? Either way it goes, don't you guys think it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it? I'm gonna let that sink in. Okay, exactly. Yep, you guys are right. Perfect. So we have a wellness benefit as well. Okay, this is part of that early detection program that we were just talking about. So each year we'll pay up to $240 to get one of these, any of these benefits up to $240, and that's going to be per insured. Okay, so for the women out there, if you want to get a mammogram, a pap smear, or ovarian screening, or anything, any of these tests, okay, we'll pay up to $240 per year. Okay, and the same thing for the men with like the PSA and the colon screening, etc. So if you're blindsided by cancer, and then you find out that you have terminal cancer, and they say, oh, there's nothing we can do. Okay, God forbid. Hope it never happens to anyone on this webinar. Actually, I hope it stops happening to the thousands of people that it happens to every day. Let's just put it that way. Okay. But we also have a hospice service benefit that pays up to $36,000. Okay, it's $200 per day. So if you found out you're gonna be on hospice, $200 a day ain't gonna make your life, rosy and things like that. But it could help you to, let's say you're married. It can help you to get some help around the house while you're in bed going, in the hospice treatment. Okay, or it can help you to help family members come to your side, right? You can put them up in a hotel, or you can help by providing food for the folks that come, or that $200 could help to put you in a better hospice facility, right? Or it can provide for a better aid to help around the house while you're laid up, right? Or that money can go into a savings account, okay, to be used by your spouse or your significant other or your children, right? You spend it however you want. Okay, so guys, just think about it. Thus far, all right, at this point, you guys are probably getting a fairly good grasp of, okay, I like this plan or I don't like this plan. For the folks that don't like this plan, we don't really want to hear from you. Okay, but then again, just stay to the end so you guys are eligible and we can get you guys those gift certificates, etc. But for the folks that are interested, I really would love to know. Okay, and again, I only want to hear from the people that are interested thus far. What do you like best? Is it the fact that the policy covers so much or has so many different benefits, or the fact that there's so many things with no lifetime limits? No lifetime limits. No lifetime limits. No lifetime limits. Okay, I'm not going to read through all this. You guys can read through the chat box, but no lifetime benefits. Very, very, very conclusive. So you like the fact that it covers everything? Okay, cool. So I'm getting a wide range of a lot of different options, and some people are saying both, which is pretty awesome. Cool, guys. Cool. Okay. So basically, everyone that's responding, you guys are interested. You probably want to know what it costs, right? Okay. We'll get to that here shortly. Okay. But basically, everyone knows that where you get treated for cancer can increase your chances of survival, right? If you live in a smaller town and you have a regional hospital, a local hospital, and they don't specialize in cancer, okay, that could severely impact your rates of survival, okay? Everyone wants the best kind of care, the best treatment possible, because they want to survive. I want to survive, okay? However, one of the most expensive indirect costs for people that don't live close to one of the designated hospitals that specialize in cancer is that out-of-town travel costs. Okay, that's transportation, food, lodging, and don't forget missed work. Okay, all that Very, 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 very. I don't know how many times I can say very, but very expensive. Okay. Ask anyone that you know who's gone through it. Okay. Besides their copays, their medication payments, and things like that, what was the most expensive part of them getting their illness treated? And they'll probably tell you transportation or the fact that they lost money because they didn't go to work. Okay. So for that, we actually have something called transportation and lodging benefits. Okay. I know some of y'all thought we were done, but there's even more benefits. Believe it or not. Okay. There's no lifetime limits. We'll pay 60 cents per mile driven by car to get to treatments. Okay, and 20 up to $2,500 per trip on a plane, train, or bus, and that's round trip for the patient. Okay, and then also for a family member. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so 60 cents per mile and $2,500 for a ticket for a plane, train, or bus. Okay, we also have family member lodging with no lifetime limits. Okay, when someone requires lodging, we'll pay up to $200 per night. Now, they ain't staying at the Ritz, but $200 a night can get you a pretty good hotel room and help with food. Okay, so families refer to these as peace of mind benefits because it gives them the peace of mind knowing they can get the quality of care they want as opposed to what they can afford. Right? No one, okay, wants to look at their child or their spouse and say, hey, you know what? I know that that hospital is probably a better option, but we can't get there, okay, or we can't afford it. We don't have enough money to travel. We don't have enough money to stay there and get you treated, all right? Or I can't take time off from work, or we can't afford a plane ticket, or our car broke down and we can't even afford to drive there, or whatever the case may be, okay? And so for some of you folks that have a lot of money, okay, you invest your money, right? You put your money to work for you. You don't want to pull that money out of your investments or get penalized for doing that. So instead of doing that, why not use someone else's money? Okay? That's what this is. This is someone else's money, basically. All right? So think about it, everyone. Wouldn't it be nice to have that kind of option? Okay? To use someone else's money to go and travel and to, to, to spend the night to make sure that your loved ones are taken care of properly and that they get the best care available? I know I would. Awesome. Right on. Cool, guys. Everyone's on the same boat. So here's the cherry on the pie, or the cherry on the float, or whatever that expression is, guys. Okay, something called a cash value benefit. Basically, if the policy owner is 55 or younger, okay, basically, if you never file a claim, you get your money back. All right. So basically, we return your premium minus any claims that you've made, either after 25 years or on the policy anniversary date following your 65th birthday, whichever comes first. Okay. What that means is if during that 25 years or on the anniversary of your 65th, after your 65th birthday, you paid in $20,000, didn't get a claim, guess what you get in the mail? You get a check for $20,000. Okay. Let's say you paid in 20, had a small claim for 5, we get a check for 15. Okay. Now this is where this benefit really, really, really pays out. Okay. And God forbid, I hope it never happens. Look at the statistics. It's happening more and more every day. But hopefully you are going to be that 1 out of 4 that's going to be fine. Okay. It's the other 3 out of 4 people that are going to get cancer. Hopefully it's not you guys. But let's say you did get a policy. Let's say you did pay $20,000 into your policy and the company ended up paying you $65,000. Okay. Obviously you wouldn't get any money back, but I do think you got your money's worth, right? Absolutely. Okay. And then in addition, guys, once that money's returned to you, all right, once that money's returned and you keep paying your premiums, we're going to go ahead and double the amount payable for that first occurrence internal cancer benefit. So it's not 6,000 anymore, it's 12,000. Okay? So you'll get all your money back minus any claims you paid. Think about that. Think about your other insurance. Okay? Home insurance, auto insurance, fire insurance, your phone insurance, right? Think about it. How many other types of insurance do you know to where you can use it and get the rest of your money back. You can not use it, get all your money back, and you still have the option of using the coverage if you need it. Think about it. Isn't that awesome? You get your money back. Exactly. Okay. For the folks that are 56 to 80, okay, yours is a little bit different. All right. But basically, it's a return. So if all the covered adults pass away for any reason while the policy is in force, the premium is immediately returned to the beneficiaries. Okay. So this is you're leaving money to your whomever your beneficiaries are. All right. If you have kids, if you have grandkids or anything like that that you want to leave money to, okay, this would be a great way to be able to do that. It's kind of like the same type of thing like life insurance. You know, when you die, that money goes to your whomever your beneficiaries are. Well, in the case of 56 to 80-year-olds, we do the same thing here. You're covered while you're still alive, and then once you pass away from whatever causes, whether it's cancer, whether it's diabetes or old age or whatever the case may be, that money is going to go back to your beneficiaries, and it's the exact same concept here. Okay. Now this one's a little bit different with the first occurrence benefit because at the end of each year for the first 10 years that your policy remains in force, we will add to your first occurrence internal cancer benefit. Okay, it's $1,200 per year, which is awesome. So if you don't get cancer after the first year, guess what? Your first occurrence benefit goes up $1,200, and it keeps doing that for the first 10 years. Okay, so we have an intensive care policy. Okay, because we all know that there are other things other than cancer that can seriously affect your family financially. Okay, heart attack, stroke, serious accident, catastrophic illness. Uh, I mean, that's on the opposite end of the spectrum. But for the older folks and people that are already here, kicking and screaming, but for the folks that haven't even been born yet, I mean, right when you think about newborns, you know, there unfortunately the incidence of newborns having to spend time in the NICU is increasing, right? So we also have a policy that we also provide protection for that. Okay, so the intensive care plan has no lifetime limits for the intensive care. Okay, up each stay is up to $48,000, and you could be in the ICU for any reason whatsoever. Okay, does not matter. All right. We also have it's $48,000 for adults and $24,000 for children. Okay. We also have something called the vehicular accident benefit that has no lifetime limits as well. Basically, all these values here, if it's because you're in an accident from a car, bus, truck, or train, okay, we'll double all those benefits, which are right here. All right. So once you are finally released out of the ICU, the intensive care unit, you're sent to what is known as a step-down unit. This has no lifetime limits. Okay, $1,200 each day, and half that for children. No lifetime limits on ambulance that takes you to the ICU. $800 per transportation. Air ambulance, no lifetime limits. $2,000 per hospitalization. And then, of course, accidental death. There's no lifetime limits because, again, if that part of that policy was used, you wouldn't be around for it. But, you know, if you're injured in an accident and the injury causes death within 90 days of that accident, you or your spouse will get $20,000 and then covered children 10. Okay. And again, I don't have to keep saying this. You guys know how I feel about all this. I hope you all remain healthy forever. Okay. I hope you don't end up getting cancer or having a heart attack, a stroke, ending up in the ICU. I hope none of that happens to any of you guys. Okay. But here's one thing. All right. I just want to put this out there. Like the cancer protection, this money, okay, this money right here is paid directly to you guys. All right. And your benefits begin immediately on your effective date. Okay. So as soon as you guys get an effective date, you're covered for the ICU. Okay. Limitations and exclusions for the cancer policy. Basically, if you have a history of cancer within 10 years or those diagnosed within 30 days of the coverage effective date, you're not going to be covered. Okay. And then also, if you have an elevated PSA, okay, you won't be you won't be covered for prostate cancer or its metastasis. Persons with non-melanoma skin cancer, if you have any melanoma, okay, cancer, you will not be covered. Okay. And then also, this one's kind of common sense, but This plan, the cancer plan, only covers losses resulting from cancer, not other things that lead to cancer or precancers. They have to be classified as cancer. ICU limitations and exclusions. Basically, you can't have a history of heart attacks or strokes. Okay, you can't be trying to take advantage of the ICU policy for something that happened prior to enrolling in that policy. Okay, and then also, it does not cover any kind of losses if you're, like I said, if you were that began prior to enrolling or prior to receiving your effective date. Okay, if you were trying to hurt yourself or committing suicide, or trying to hurt anyone really on this policy intentionally. Okay, if you're trying to commit a crime or a felony, or if you're intoxicated or under the influence of some type of drug. Okay, this one is just what we were talking about the doubling of the ICU benefit. It does not. It only applies if you're hit by a car, bus, truck, train, or commercial airplane. Everything else, okay, it does not cover that. So you would still get the ICU coverage, just not the doubling for the the vehicle accident benefit. Okay, so Family Heritage commitments to you guys, okay, is that the money is going to be paid directly to you. The money is paid in addition to any other insurance payouts that you have. The claim payments are directly deposited into your bank account. Coverage is guaranteed renewable for life as long as premiums are paid on time. Okay, only you guys can cancel. If you call, you're gonna talk to a live person. The premium does not increase with age or because of claims. Okay, so the earlier you register, the sooner you register, the lower your rate is, and it'll never go up as you get older. Okay, and then also Family Heritage Life has never raised the rate on an existing policyholder. Okay, guys, so at this point you'll have a fairly good understanding of whether or not you want this insurance. Okay, now I personally believe everyone needs it. Okay, but again, I'm not here to sell you. All right, if you're saying, hey, I don't want it right now, and you want to roll the dice and say, you know what, I don't think I'm gonna get cancer anytime soon, not gonna do it. Okay, we're almost done. Now for the folks that are interested, I'm gonna go over a couple more documents and then we'll be finished here, because I know we're rolling on close to 50 something minutes, and so I want to get you guys out of here. But here we go. So this is a document here. It goes through the different types of cancer coverage. We have 4 different levels, like I was talking about. Okay, now every plan has every benefit. It's just that the payouts are different. Okay, usually it's halved from the previous benefit. So for instance, the elite is 6,000. The next one's 3,000. The one after that is 15. The one after that 750. Make sense? Okay. The intensive care, there are also 4 plans, and it's the exact same way. The payouts are halved each time you go down a level. Okay. Now this is the application. All right. One of the main reasons, okay, that so many people sign up for this is that we're very, very simple to use. Okay, we got a 1-sheet application. It's very basic. We don't ask for socials. We don't ask for blood samples. It's literally name, phone number, address, date of birth, and then some qualifying questions. All right. So guys, once you start to get to this point, I mean, really just think about it. Okay. Again, most people that I talk to, okay, they see this as a win-win. All right. Either one, they're gonna have to file a claim, and our company's gonna pay them thousands of dollars to help them to pay their family's bills. Okay. Or 2, they never file a claim, and then they get all their money back. Or 3, okay, they don't have it, they don't sign up for it, and then they're blindsided about cancer and they go bankrupt. Okay, or not bankrupt, but they just are put into some dire financial situations. Okay, so if you think about it, guys, the only way you could really lose is if you don't have it when you need it. Okay, now think about that for a second. All right, and if you want a quote, okay, just I'll send a link to where you guys can fill out some very basic information. Okay, you can fill this out. I'll leave some check boxes and things like that, and I'll personally call you. Okay, or someone from my office will call you. Okay, I try to call everyone, But typically, after sessions like this, I have so many people that sign up that sometimes it's not me personally, but you'll have my cell number, and you can call me anytime. Okay. Um, the back of that sheet, we also have several different ways to take care of it. Okay, having options is awesome, and so we have multiple ways to take care of all of our policies. Okay, once a year, twice a year, and most people do actually monthly. Okay, um, yeah, and then that's it for that, guys. That's the whole application. I mean, there's a couple of things. So, for instance, here's one other form that you didn't need to sign that would just basically say, you know what, this is not a substitute for major medical coverage. This is a supplement. Basically, this money goes directly to me. Doesn't go to the hospitals or the doctors. And that's all this form basically says. And then also for the folks that are 65 plus that have Medicare, this just basically says that this is not a Medicare supplement. Okay, so keep your insurance, keep your Medicare supplements. Don't go out canceling things because you say, you know what, I'm only really concerned about cancer. That's all I care about. And of course, this will pay money to you, but at the same time, you still need your insurance to pay the doctors or the portions of the bills that they'll pay, and we come in to make up some on the backside. So, um, all right, guys, that's basically it. Obviously, like I said, guys, I mean, we don't really advertise, we don't really market as a company. I'm doing this out of my own pocket because I need and want to get out in front of as many people as possible. So, guys, definitely participate in the contest, win some gift cards, win some vacations, some vacation certificates, okay? And then also, if you or anyone you know, okay, at all, is interested in learning more about becoming an insurance agent or representing the products or starting your own agency, or really, helping people, okay, and making a living while you do it, please get in touch with me. Okay, yeah, I got email address, phone numbers, all that's basically all over this website. Call me, reach out to me, and I'll give you more information. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I mean, we did this in under an hour. We covered everything. Now, the other policies that you guys can sign up for, they work the exact same way. Okay, and when you call, I'll just quote you. Give you a quote for all coverage. Okay, so that's cancer, that's intensive care, that's heart attack, stroke. I mean, we have 4 different coverages, and I'll give you a quote for all of them. Okay, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, guys, I know a lot of you guys are interested. I look forward to getting those emails of the applications filled out, and then you'll get a call from me or someone on the team, and we'll get you guys squared away. Okay, the sooner we get you covered, the sooner you guys will be covered. Make sense? Awesome. Thank you for your time, everyone. I really appreciate it. Make sure to share this webinar address with as many people as you guys can think of. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Take care.